Welcome to Season 3 of the Afros and Knives podcast. I am your host and the guardian of this audio space, Tiffany Rosier. This is an interview series that elevates the profiles and stories of Black women working in food and beverage, hospitality, food justice, food science, and food media. Just in case you got lost and found your way to this podcast by accident. Let's see, we'll get into that food science situation as the season progresses. Just let me say, I have always believed that if you work in food, you work in STEM. But I digress. This season's first conversation is with the brilliant and generous Osayi Endolyn. She is a writer. More than that, she is the shaper of worlds and a consummate storyteller. Reading her work is transformative and nourishing, and in a world gone mad, it is nice to have her words in orbit. This was a damn fine way to come back from a break. During my editing process, I get the pleasure of hearing these interviews more than one time, and I had just as lovely a time listening to this one as I did recording it, and I hope that the spirit of our chat comes through. We do explore some mature subjects towards the end, nothing too crazy, but I mean, if you got young kids in the room you're not ready to have a hard conversation with, you might want to be mindful about your volume and maybe put some earbuds in. So before we get into this episode, I want to thank the Chef's Advocate for sponsoring this episode of the Afros and Knives podcast. The Chef's Advocate is a boutique consulting agency representing a global cross-section of culinary professionals. They continue to make a positive impact on their clients and the lives of the many people working in the industry. So you can follow the Chef's Advocate on Instagram, and make sure to check out their new IG series called Kitchen Talk Live with their dear host, Miss Annette Davidson. And just keep your eyes on that account, because I know there's some really special things coming from the Chef's Advocate. So just keep your eyes on their IG account. I also want to extend a welcome to the newest seasonal sponsor, 10 Speed Press and Clarkson Potter. I am and have always been an avid reader. I still remember getting my very first public library card like it was yesterday. Everybody was getting hype about Transformers, and I was getting hype about chapter books. My very first vocational aspiration was to be a librarian. I absolutely adored my middle school and elementary school librarian. Shout out to Miss Purton if you're still with us. Thank you for instilling in me a very deep love and appreciation for reading. I am still tempted every day to retire from the food game, go back to school, get my library science degree, and just get lost in a world of books. So if I disappear, y'all know what happened. I've always thought that cookbooks were like getting a cheat code for living your life. The new book from Chef Hawa Hassan with Julia Turshen in BB's Kitchen gives us over 75 recipes from 8 different East African countries that touch the Indian Ocean. And these nations were the backbone of the spice trade. So you know that these recipes have the love of the ancestors and some incredible flavor profiles, so you are definitely going to level up your kitchen game. Hawa interviews BBs or grandmothers like Ma Vicky, who shares Tanzanian flavors in her stewed plantains with beans and beef recipe. There are recipes for chicken biryani, for quick stewed eggplant with coconut date bread, and a sweet and sour braised lamb with tamarind. So for the love of comfort food and home cooking, go pre-order this cookbook. Our friend Osayi even says that this book illustrates what the wisest among us have known all along. The seat of power in food, its soul and expertise, has always begun at home, at the hands of skilled women in their kitchens. This book was published by 10 Speed Press. Again, it's called In BB's Kitchen. It's available October 13th, wherever books are sold. So I would get on that if I was you. Get that pre-order so you don't get played. My deepest gratitude to the Afros and Knives patrons for your constant support. None of this would be possible without you. And to become a patron, visit patreon.com/Afros and Knives. If you love the podcast, be sure to follow, subscribe, share, and comment. And now let's get into it. Oh, wait a minute. I needed to tell y'all who won this summer giveaway. So remember, we had a summer giveaway. Up for grabs was the 35th anniversary edition 7.5-inch chef knife from Global Cutlery USA, and then the Scan-Pan non-stick skillet, which I am loving more and more every time I use it. So those two prizes were up for grabs. So I would love to congratulate our winner. And this is the IG handle and the email address that was on the subscription registration, Tiny Aphrodite. Again, the winner is Tiny Aphrodite. I will be reaching out to you on Instagram, so be sure to check your DMs. And thank you all so much for the love and for participating. I appreciate so much you guys being engaged with the giveaway so I can do more of them. And to Tiny Aphrodite, I appreciate that slogan of yours, tiny in stature, larger than life. You better go ahead. Y'all go check out Tiny Aphrodite on Instagram. And of course, that's at Tiny Afro. So it's AFRO, not the literary spelling of Aphrodite, but the doper spelling of Aphrodite. So yeah, Tiny Aphrodite on Instagram. There's a shot of these sauteed fiddlehead ferns on there, and she's showing off. So definitely go check her out. So okay, but really, let's get into this conversation with Osayi.